Let's go. Am I prepared well? On the news headlines here on Leadership TV, Natasha Akpoti seeks disbarment of Senate Ethics Committee chair and is a lawyer. And Tinubu's aide chides Obi as lacking democratic credentials. On the foreign scene, Japan's death row inmate gets $1.4 million for 40-year wrongful imprisonment. Governor Eno gives fans 30,000 tickets to cheer Super Eagles against Zimbabwe. Court clears ex-FIFA president Blatter Platini of corruption charges. You're still watching Leadership TV News. I am Cynthia Onwado. And now to the news in detail. The suspended senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has filed a petition to the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, LPDC, seeking the disbarment of Edo South Senator Nedamwem Imasuen as a lawyer. Imaseun is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, which recommended multiple punitive measures against Natasha over her misconduct at plenary. In a petition submitted to the LPDC, Natasha claimed that the New York Supreme Court Appellate Division on May 10, 2010, accused and disbarred the chairman of the Senate Ethics Committee for fraud, misappropriation of client funds, and failure to respond to disciplinary authorities. To support her claims, the petitioner submitted a copy of the 2010 Justia New York case law titled Matter of Imaseun to the LPDC and promised to present additional evidence from the official records of the respondents' disbarment during the trial. Senator Natasha told the LPDC that the respondent's disbarment by the UX court followed a complaint that was lodged against him by one Daphne Slyfield, a client who paid substantial legal fees to him but was abandoned without legal recourse. And moving on now, the special advisor to President Tinubu on media and policy, Daniel Bwala, has described the Labour Party's presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections, Mr. Peter Obi, as a failed politician. Bwala, via a post on his X handle on Tuesday, claimed that the former Anambra State governor lacked knowledge of the true meaning of democracy. Leadership TV recalls that Obi, who spoke at the 60th birthday colloquium for the former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Emeka Ehidioha, in Abuja on Monday, stated that the progress made since Nigeria's return to civilian rule in 1999 has been eroded. Obi added that democracy in Nigeria had long collapsed, and reacting to Obi's statement, Bwala retorted that Obi lacked a history of democratic activism from his school days to the present. In his words, it is funny how failed politicians are trying to redefine democracy. Peter Obi said democracy has collapsed. Does he even know the meaning of democracy? And now on the foreign scene, a Japanese man who was wrongfully convicted of murder is recognized as the world's longest serving death row inmate and has been awarded $1.5 million in compensation after over 40 years in prison, an official announced on Tuesday. Iwao Hakamada, a former boxer now 89, was exonerated last year of a 1966 quadruple murder after a tireless campaign by his sister and others. The Shuswaka District Court, in a decision dated on Monday, said that the claimant shall be granted 217,362,500 yen, a court spokesman told AFP. This payout amounts to approximately $83 for each day of the over 4 decades that Hakamada spent in detention, most of which is spent on death row. His legal team has said the money falls short of the pain he suffered. Hakamada had suffered inhuman interrogations meant to force a statement that he later withdrew, the court said at the time. Decades of detention with the threat of execution constantly looming took a major toll on Hakamada's mental health, his lawyers have said, describing him as living in a world of fantasy. Hakamada was the fifth death row inmate granted a trial in Japan's post-war history. All four previous cases also resulted in exonerations. In other news stories, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umar Eno has procured 30,000 tickets for football fans and supporters ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Zimbabwe's Warriors, scheduled for Tuesday, March 25th, 2025 at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo. In a statement by Elder Paul Bassi, the Commissioner for Sports, the state government said the gesture was to encourage citizens and residents of the state to come out in large numbers to cheer the Super Eagles to victory. The tickets were being distributed to fans from 5 p.m. on Monday, March 24th, at all radio stations and other designated points across Uyo. However, the commissioner warned fans without tickets to stay away from the stadium while appealing to those in the stadium to be orderly and abide by the instructions of the organizers. Finally, now in the news, the former FIFA president Sepp Blatter and the former football administrator Michel Platini were on Tuesday cleared of corruption charges by a Swiss court over 2 years after they were first acquitted of the offenses. The two, once among the most powerful figures in global football, were cleared of fraud at the extraordinary appeal chambers of the Swiss Criminal Court in the town of Muttenz near Basel. The hearing came after Swiss federal prosecutors appealed against their 2022 acquittal at a lower court from where both men denied corruption charge against them. The fraud case related to a 2 million Swiss franc payment Blatter authorized for Platini, a former captain and manager of the French national team, in 2011. The payment was a consultancy fee paid to Platini for work carried out between 1998 and 2002, which the Frenchman said had been partly deferred because FIFA lacked the funds to pay him in full immediately. The scandal, which emerged in 2015 when Platini was president of the European football's ruling body UEFA, ended his hopes of succeeding Blatter, who was forced out of FIFA over the allegation. Well, that sums up the news here on Leadership TV. For more of our news stories, you can log on to our website, www.leadership.ng. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.